Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scattered Brilliancy. My name is Travis and I am here today to review NBC's The Wiz Live. I know y'all haven't seen me in a while. Of course, you know, I had some stuff going on and I'll talk about that in another video. But today, we're gonna talk about The Wiz. Now, for those who don't know, NBC has started this tradition now. It's annually. This is their third year. They're doing, Oreo, I wish you'd get your life together and go somewhere. They're doing these live musicals every year, I guess around the same time of year. They started off with The Sound of Music in 2013, and then in 2014 they did Peter Pan, and this year they decided to do The Wiz. For those who are unaware or uninformed on what The Wiz is a black adaptation of The Wizard of Oz. So we'll get into that part a little bit later. The Wiz came on last night. It was a 3-hour telecast and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons. I'm not doing a play-by-play thing because go read the book if you want to know what happens. But I just really thought that everyone involved did a great job on the production. It had some celebrities. You had Common, who played the bouncer. You had Queen Latifah as the Wiz. Mary J. Blige as as Eveline, the Wicked Witch of the West. Amber Riley is Ada Pearl. She was a good witch of the North, I guess. Yeah. Uzo Aduba was Glinda, the Good Witch of the South. Stephanie Mills was Aunt M. Bruh. You doing a lot, man. Elijah Kelly was the Scarecrow. Neo was a Tin Man. David Allen Greer was the Lion. And they cast a new actress by the name of Shanice Williams to play Dorothy. Now, as far as, let's go with the pros first. I thought that their choice in roles was really good. I thought who they cast in the musical was really good, and I love the fact that they picked an unknown actress to portray the role of Dorothy. I thought that was very genius. You know, it's almost like you're giving them their moment, you're giving them their opportunity to shine, and I was just so happy that they did not pick a celebrity to play that role. Now, I mean, you know, from this point forward she'll probably become a celebrity, but I thought that was really good. Neo as a Tin Man, excellent job. Neo's a great singer. His favorite album of mine is still, in my own words, his first album, still my #1 favorite Neo album. Can play it all the way through. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to go listen to it this weekend as soon as I find it. But he did an excellent job, excellent singing. And his portrayal of the Tin Man was really good. David Allen Greer as the Lion was very funny. I think he did a great job as well, and he has a very nice singing voice as well. His tone and everything was very nice. I was surprised because I've never seen him singing. Elijah Kelly is not as known as everybody else in the play, but in the musical, he's been in Hairspray, the movie. He was in Red Tails, which was about the Tuskegee Airmen. And he's been in a couple of other things, but not really a whole lot of stuff. And hopefully things will pick up for him after this. But his portrayal of the Scarecrow, I loved. He was my favorite character within the musical. Just from his body movements to the inflections. I think it's inflections. The inflections in his voice. His tone when he was speaking as the Scarecrow was just great. So he was my favorite character in the play. And he sung You Can't Win great, and just his dancing within the choreography and his acrobatics was really great. It was a good added feature to his character, in my opinion. And I thought that Shanice Williams did an amazing job. For her to be a newcomer, this to be her first time doing something like that, and then on top of all of that, for it to be live, I thought she did an amazing job. So kudos to those four and the rest of the cast for doing an excellent job. You know, Mary, Queen, all of them, just great job. Uzo, great job. Also, something I loved, the makeup and the costumes. So dope. I mean, dope. For real. I'm intrigued by all that kind of stuff. For those who don't know, I do do a little bit of acting on the side. That is not my job, but I enjoy doing that on the side. But I also enjoy scenery type things and set design and makeup and costumes and all of that kind of behind the scenes stuff apart from the actual acting when it comes to stuff like this. So I thought that the costumes were absolutely gorgeous. I think of the costume, the Scarecrow was my favorite costume design because I thought it was just a sleek look, very different from Michael Jackson's look in the movie and different from the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz. Just, it was very modern. The whole musical itself was modern, and I love that about it. The lion's makeup and the dreadlocks for the hair, so good. Neo's makeup out. The costumes were just awesome, y'all. Uzo Aduba's fiber optic dress was so hot. I thought that was so hot. It made me, all my Disney people, it made me think about Spectral Magic. Took me back to the Spectral Magic days. Rest in peace, Spectral Magic. But it made me think of Spectral Magic, which made me love it even more because if y'all don't know, I am a Disney head, and that dress gave me Disney. But I did notice that in the initial publicity shots that came out, she had a blonde wig on with fiber optics in it. But when the musical actually happened, her hair was completely different. So I wonder why they strayed away from the original look that they had for her. And I wonder if it had anything to do with the fact they gave a black woman blonde hair, because her look in the actual musical was more urban, I guess you can say. I don't know. But the makeup and the costumes were just great. The sets, the technology behind the sets, they were so cool. The tornado scene was so hot. I wasn't sure if that was actually Dorothy who was spinning through the air, but then I did later see that there was a stunt double, and I thought there would be, but I thought at one point, I thought it was her, but oh my gosh, y'all, it was so good. It was so good. The scenes were beautiful. The graphics that were being projected onto the side, close to the ends of the stage, were just awesome. It blended well. And even though there were some areas where they didn't have a lot of stuff on the stage, that's when your imagination is supposed to kick in, and that's when you as the viewer are supposed to fill the rest in with your mind. So I thought that was all really great. What else do I have on my list? Because I had to make a list so I knew what I was talking about today. I thought the transitions between the scenes, especially when I think either right before they picked up the line or after they picked up the line, that the set changing was very smooth, very great transitions. And so I talked about all the pros. Oh, and the singing, of course. Everybody was doing it. Everybody was doing it. Everybody held their own, and I was just very, very, very pleased and amazed that it all came together so well. Because I have been looking forward to this ever since I found out they were doing The Wiz live. Like, I've been like, oh my gosh, yes, I bet this is going to be good. This is something that I need to look forward to. I need to watch. Now, in the past week, I've been kind of getting tired of the commercials because I was just so ready. I'm like, okay, every 5 minutes there's a Wiz commercial. But, you got to get that promo out there. And they said today that the ratings were higher for The Wiz than they were for Peter Pan. However, they fell short just a little bit in comparison to The Sound of Music. I think they said Sound of Music brought in like 18 million and The Wiz brought in 11. Yeah, and Peter Pan brought in 9. So still good numbers. So that's all the good stuff. Now let me talk about what can be considered a con. Now, the first thing that could have used some tweaking was the camera work. Especially within the first segment before they went to the first commercial break. There were 2 times when I saw a camera in the shot. So I don't know if that was just, I know it was accidents, but I don't know if it was just poor planning as far as whose shot they were taking at that particular time and the shot not being moved quick enough, because I watched the behind the scenes last Wednesday and it really seemed like they were just rehearsing. So I wonder if the camera crew rehearsed as much as the actual talent in the show. But yeah, every time a camera popped into the shot, I'm like, come on, y'all, get it together. But after that, I never did see another camera. However, I did see the camera rigging, the one that goes like this across the set. I saw that cast so many shadows on people's face, and that kind of stuff irritates me from a... So you just gonna eat while I'm doing the video? Y'all, he is so disrespectful. Oh Oreo, gone somewhere. Man, all that noise. That casted so many shadows on people's faces, and that kind of irritated me because I'm like, ugh. In my mind, if I was, designing a set, and I don't know how much sense this would make, if I had to level things, I would level the lights lower because they weren't even on a real, like a stage. They were on a sound stage, so they could play with this any kind of way they wanted to. So I wouldn't have had the lights all the way at the top and then the rigging here because it's gonna cast the shadow on people's faces. I would have put the lights a little lower and the camera that's supposed to pan across scenes and all that kind of stuff, I would have had that higher than the lights. That way you would have never seen those shadows. So those are just some camera things that could have, been a little bit better, but did not really take away from the whole effect of The Wiz. Is there anything else? The commercials sucked. But I understand you got to pay the bills, and that's how networks make their money. But the commercials did seem a little excessive, and it seemed a little long, and it seemed like they added a good 45 minutes to the actual telecast, even though it was 3 hours. But I do know that they used those commercials to benefit them when they were changing sets out and all that kind of stuff. And the last thing I put was the ending. It ended so abruptly, and I was still sitting there waiting for them to come back to do a curtain call or something like that. I didn't watch The Sound of Music, and I didn't watch Peter Pan, so I don't know how those went. So I was just kind of at the end, it went off, and I was just kind of like, okay, I'm ready for this curtain call so I can clap it up for them, and then it went straight into the news. And I was like, so that's it. So I kind of would have liked a better ending to it all. And that could have maybe been a timing thing. Maybe there was an ending. Maybe there was a curtain call. It's just, they ran over time, or they were right at their end mark. So I don't know. So those are the only things as far as the production that I think could have been better. That's it. Everything else, 10s across the boards. Now, let me get into people's opinions briefly while I'm at 11 minutes before I hit 20. It ticked me off how many negative opinions I saw leading up to the production and during and after. Now, let's start with the singing. If you can't get on NBC and sing in front of 10 million plus people, never crack a note, be on pitch, be on key, in that one moment, that one chance you get, you don't allow any of that pressure to get to you, and you can do a perfect performance, maybe you need to fly up to New York and audition so you can be in next year's production of whatever it is. Or maybe you can head on over to Fox and be in Grease, which is live in January. But I did not understand people criticizing people singing when this is live and they only get one shot to do it. And it is a whole Broadway production. Of course, Broadway productions, they go for 7 weeks. Not 7 weeks, 7 days a week. Maybe like one day off or something like that. So they're constantly doing the show. This cast has worked up however many months they've been working to this one moment. And if they crack a note, so what? So I just thought people criticizing them and coming down on them was wrong. And then people assuming that Mary J's performance was going to be bad because of whatever reason, I did not think was fair, because you did not even give her a chance to show you what she could do. Regardless of whether you thought she would be a great actress or she would have been the person that you picked, she's the person that NBC picked, which means they believed in her enough to do the job. The same thing goes with people who probably thought that Crazy Eyes, which people don't realize that's not her real name. Her real name is Uzo Aduba. People probably thought that was a bad choice, because I heard at one point there was like talks like Beyonce was in the whatever. NBC, the casting directors who were ever a part of The Wiz, put together the cast that they felt could bring forth this story and bring it to life in the best way possible. They worked with what they had. And I believe they did an A+ job. And I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. Black Twitter was positive for the most part. Some black people, we complain a whole lot about not having. We don't have this, we ain't got that, we don't never do this. How come we don't have that? And then when you get something, you tear it down. I'm not for that. I'm not for that. This was a moment when the arts shined. It's not necessarily black arts, white arts, whatever. This is a moment when the arts shined. Dance, music, and art shined beautifully. And for people to still find little things to critique and criticize when they couldn't do better, there's a saying that goes, how does it go? Don't stop the person. Those who say it shouldn't be done should not stop those who are doing it, or those who say it can't be done shouldn't. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's pretty much saying, if you say that it can't be done, don't comment, don't criticize people who are actually doing it. If you feel like it can be done, why don't you go out and do it? You know, so I didn't like that. And then people were upset at the fact that Toto wasn't in the whole show, when the other part, people didn't realize that The Wiz started off as a musical on stage. I think off Broadway maybe, or maybe on Broadway, I don't know. But it started off as a musical. And the movie with Diana Ross, Nipsey Russell, Ted Ross, and Michael Jackson was an adaptation of the stage version. So I think a lot of people came into watching this with a preconceived notion that this was going to be the movie on stage, not realizing the history that this was a stage thing first before it was a movie thing. So for you to expect a dog to follow all commands and be on point for 3 hours, it's a little asinine. It's a little, but you know, what else is in my notes? Because people's lack of knowledge. I don't like when people criticize things and comment on stuff without having all the facts. You know, I just don't like that. I don't like it. I don't know anybody in the show. I don't have a personal relationship with any of them. But I felt like this was a moment when they all should have been supported. And there's really no need for negativity. Now, we had a whole nother set of negativity from a certain group of people, who I won't say who, were complaining about the fact that there was going to be an all-black cast in The Wiz. Their lack of knowledge was evident, because if you didn't know, The Wiz has always been all-black. They was like, so what? How would black people feel if they did an all-white version of The Wiz? Well, you know, the all-white version was done in 1930. It was called The Wizard of Oz. Off the top of my head, I don't remember any black people being in that movie. But you know, that's none of my business, and it ain't got nothing to do with me. So, you know, I understand people will always find something wrong in everything, and that doesn't take away from the greatness that was The Wiz last night. Overall, I thought that it was just awesome. It was an awesome production. NBC, great job to the ensemble who didn't get as much shine because they weren't famous. Very good job to the singers, to the band who pre-recorded the tracks, all of that. Just good job. And I'm probably gonna go watch it again. I DVR'd it so I could watch it again. I may even watch it now. Like, fast forward to my favorite part. And if you want to know what my favorite part was the Scarecrow and the crows and the "You Can't Win" scene. That was my favorite. But it was really good. I really enjoyed myself, because I'm a musical person. I like theater. I like that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna try to go see Wicked here in Charlotte in January. So if you've seen that, let me know how it is. So thank you all for watching this review of The Wiz live on NBC. I appreciate you so much for watching my videos. Make sure you like, rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be doing a video later about my wedding a little bit later. So I'll be talking to y'all soon, and y'all take it easy. Peace.